Good afternoon. Welcome to the March campus gathering. This is really a little odd. I hope some folks are at home watching us. We have a lot of good information for you today, some updates. It's hard to put all the information in a letter, and I apologize for all the communications that you've had to endure over the past 3 weeks. And they'll continue to come until we start seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. So it's nice. I really appreciate all the emails and the words of encouragement through the phone calls, and at a distance when we're out walking, running into each other. It's been nice. I'm so thankful for the spirit within the Givens Estates community. Team members have really stepped up, residents have stepped up, family members. I know it's been hard with the distancing, and I just am amazed at the end of the day how much I have to be grateful for in times, albeit tough. So as we customarily do, we want to remember our friends who are no longer among us. Kilbert Lockwood of Oxford Commons and Wood Assisted Living, Virginia Collier of Givens Estates Health Center, Anna Barrett of Givens Estates Health Center, Catherine Rice of Asbury Commons, Wood Assisted Living and the Health Center, and Willis Taylor of Givens Estates Health Center. If you will, hear these words of assurance from Isaiah. The Lord will guide you continually and satisfy your needs in parched places and make your bones strong, and you shall be like a watered garden, like a spring of water whose waters never fail. As you can, would you pause with me for a moment of silent prayer? In the name of the one who is the light of the world, we give thanks. Amen. So a lot of our reports today are going to be modified a bit. For example, our life enrichment update, it's going to be an update, but it's not going to be as usual. The life enrichment team, campus-wide in the health services area as well as independent living, they're working really hard to find ways to stay in touch and bring people together. Using our technology and other resources. So Aaron's going to come up and provide an update and talk a little bit about some of the things to be on the lookout for.
Look up. Okay. Hello out there. I'm Erin Strain, the Director of Independent Living Life Enrichment. And John is right, things are very different for my department right now. We're not doing the fun trips and meetings and all that kind of fun, cool stuff that usually keeps us busy. So we're trying to tweak things a little bit so that we can still offer you our services and offerings without making things too complicated. So this is what we're doing. First and foremost, in wellness, the exercise room is still open, so you can still go down and get on the bike or the treadmill. The classes have been canceled. But starting tomorrow, Ryan and Carrie Lee are going to start live streaming 10 classes a week from this room. So they've got all different kinds of setups, but they use body weight, and you can do them in front of your TV. So keep your eyes on GTV for the schedule of those and a brief description. And if you have questions, you can call Ryan. In programming, if you don't have email, you're missing a lot of important communications from John. So we're going to start printing those and delivering them to your cluster rep so that your cluster reps can bring those to you. Debbie and Daryl did their first round today, and it's the Pony Express is what we called it. So they're just out hand delivering mail. But it's also a good opportunity to see folks and have some interaction. We are still going to the grocery store. We're not going to Walmart anymore, just the grocery stores. And Daryl has plenty of hand sanitizer on there, and we're asking you to sanitize before and after you get on the bus. Let's see, the gift shop is closed. So one of the hottest sellers in the gift shop was stamps, and those are available at the reception desk. And we will continue to deliver campus mail on Fridays. And again, we will deliver it to your cluster rep, who will then deliver it to you. And Sally Ann asked that I mention that we are trying to think of creative ways to bring programming to you. She's been very busy researching online, seeing what some other communities are doing. But we would like to know if you had any ideas. If you do, please give us a call or send us an email. We would love to hear from you. In social services, Betsy and Whitney have been very busy. Whitney's phone has been ringing off the hook with phone calls from families and concerned residents. They can help you with menu selections. If you have a hard time reading the menu and then calling dining services to put in your order, they can come over and help you with that. They're doing regular telephone check-ins. So if you have concerns about yourself or your neighbors, please give your social worker a call, and they'll do what they can to check on things. So I wanted to say something quickly about social distancing. We're doing all of these things and making these changes to our habits and our routines so that we can operate safely under the framework of social distancing. And something that I've learned, and I know you all have too, is that we all social distance differently. Just yesterday, I was at home and I was opening up an Amazon Prime package. I was excited to see what I ordered, and my husband said, "Did you wipe that down with Lysol before you touched it?" No, I didn't know. And next thing I know, he's coming over with Lysol and spraying it down. So he does things a little differently than I do when it comes to social distancing and germs. And so I ask you to just keep that in mind as we go through the day-to-day here. Some of us take social distancing to different levels. And just please remember that if someone doesn't want to shake your hand or doesn't want to come play bridge or doesn't want to take a newspaper from you, don't take it personally. We're all just trying to get by in this stressful time. So I think that is all I have. Again, if you have questions, suggestions, give us a call. I think that's it.
Kenneth is up for update on dining services, and it's interesting because we're social distancing. I guess we're not doing normally we'd be introducing the dining department to everyone. The information deliveries that Aaron talked about to the homes, we can social distance when we're doing that. So just a reminder of the Centers for Disease Control, they define social distancing as 6 feet between one another because the coronavirus is airborne. So Kenneth, go for it.
Well, thank you very much. First off, just want to say thank you very much to all the residents that are participating within our new program. Dining services, we've been having a lot of fun down in the kitchen and making this new system work, so we appreciate everybody staying patient with us. Just a quick little update. We provided over the last 2.5 days 750 roughly meal deliveries across campus, so the serving team is getting a lot of steps in over the past couple of days. I just wanted to give a quick rundown of the process that we're currently utilizing. So residents are dialing the 771-2209 number, and either somebody will be answering that phone call or please leave a voicemail. If you are leaving a voicemail, please be specific with your order. We ask that you leave your home address and a delivery time for you. Dining will not be calling back to confirm orders. We will be calling back if there's any sort of question that we have in regarding your order. At this time, we do not have the normal salad bar that we've been offering in the Performing Arts Center, nor do we have the compound salad. Instead of those two options, we are offering a very nice house salad and a Caesar salad. Dining services accepting orders for the day of that service. Please call for either lunch or dinner service. We will not be accepting any orders for either the following day or the following week. We are needing to keep this process as simple and efficient as possible, so that is the reason why we're just doing the day of. Dining services will be filling the order within the kitchen and providing a meal delivery for roughly the time that we have indicated your time will be delivered. Dining staff have been instructed to knock and ring on your doorbell. After a minute or two, dining team members will leave that bag and then move on to the next meal delivery. We are asking our team members to not go into resident homes. Just want to give a friendly reminder that the bags that are being delivered to your home are recyclable. In addition to that, the containers that we're utilizing are compostable. So you're more than welcome to throw those in the garbage. Update on Friday night service. Friday night is supposed to be a served plate within the Performing Arts Center. Of course, we're not doing that at this time. You do not need to call and make a reservation for Friday evening. Just follow the normal process on Friday. Call down and place your order, and we'll provide a delivery. I want to give you a quick update in regarding Sundays as well. Sundays is typically a breakfast order, breakfast menu, omelets, a couple side items. We will be updating that menu, so please watch your GTV, your app, and also we'll be placing a flyer over the next couple days in those carryout meals so you can have an updated menu for Sunday afternoon, okay? That is it. Enjoy.
So now I would like to introduce to you Leanne Stork, who is an occupational therapist, and we're so pleased to have her as part of the team at Givens Estates. She is our new rehab coordinator, rehab director. And so I'd like to introduce her to the campus. She was prepared to answer questions today, but we'll bring her back another time when everyone's here. She's anticipated, I think, some of those questions, but I'd like for her to introduce herself so you can put her name and face together. Leanne?
Hello, everyone. My name is Leanne Stork. Just as John said, I am an occupational therapist. I come with several years of therapy management. I've worked on campuses like this before and have had some good programs with my good therapists that I had. I wanted to say that I'm so excited to be here. I am really excited to be here on campus with you guys, and I'm so looking forward to meeting you. I hate that it's under these circumstances that I'm here. However, people can contact me up at the health center at any point if they need to. We're still having therapy services down here at the Wellness Center, as well as offering services in people's apartments in Oxford if they feel more comfortable with that. I was going to tell you guys that, and this was supposed to be question and answer, and I'm a little bit nervous. Sorry about that. I'm just not used to being in front of a camera like this. I'm better in front of people. But, and I was also going to say that if you didn't want to meet me, we could have done things differently. I'm just saying. So, but no, in all seriousness, I'm originally from Mississippi. I've been here in the Carolinas for 20 some odd years in this area since 1999. I started working here in skilled nursing. After about 2 years, I became the therapy director at that facility and then the therapy director of that campus, very similar to this one, and I was there for 16 years. Took a break, went and did some treatments only, just treating patients, outpatient, home health, and assisted living, and then became rehab manager again at another skilled nursing facility. Ended up here after seeing that there was an opening here, and I said that would be an awesome place to work, and I would love to work with those residents there. So here I am. I graduated in 1991. I know that dates me a little bit, but I did. I graduated in 91, started working as a therapist in Mississippi at the Mississippi Methodist Rehabilitation Center, where I worked with all kinds of patients, stroke, head injury, spinal cord injury, orthopedics, a little bit of everything. And I feel like that was a great experience for me where I learned so much and have just kind of gradually worked on my skills and management skills. I'm not sure why they determined that a 22, 23-year-old should be a what they call a senior therapist. I said, sure, I'll do it. I'll do that. So, and I'm up for challenges, and I like challenges, and I like these opportunities. So the other thing I want to say, looking forward to meeting all of you guys, and wish there were some questions and answers that I could give you right now, but here we are, and we'll see each other soon. We were going to be doing a spring fling kind of thing for us to kind of get to know the therapist again, so that I could get to know you guys and just mingle and enjoy our time. But we're probably going to be putting that off a little while. So once we get there, we'll make those announcements. It probably won't be called Spring Fling at that point, but it will be some kind of a gathering so that we can all get together. Looking forward to it. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye.
You did great. It is just so odd. So David's right in front of me. David Smith has some updates on facilities.
Good afternoon. I'd like to thank all my biggest fans for being here today. Appreciate everyone coming out to see me. Hope everyone is doing well. I do have a few updates. I was on schedule to provide a sewer health announcement, and unfortunately you all are missing that exciting topic now. I will include that in the Gazette. As you all are aware, we're required to do some education related to sewer health on campus, so we'll just do that in writing instead of in person this time. The other thing I wanted to talk about a little bit is you probably have noticed that we have staff stationed at the front entrance of campus performing a kind of screening and checkpoint for folks. Want to make sure residents know you all are welcome to come and go. Staff are just verifying that you have your decal and or your name badge with you, and you're free to enter and exit campus as you would like. That includes staff, residents, any of our approved contractors. We're also letting in. Our contractors have to go through the screening process when they arrive at their intended location. If you have private health care folks that are coming into your home, kind of the same process. We are letting them into campus, but we do ask that they sign in at Oxford Commons to make sure that we have a record of those folks being on campus, since they are going to be in close proximity with you in your home. We feel like that's a really important thing. The other thing, we are actually kind of encouraging folks to do some meal delivery type things to avoid some personal contact. So we will continue to allow UPS, FedEx trucks, Uber, Grubhub, those types of services will be allowed on campus because they have a very limited interaction with you. And as Kenneth mentioned, he and his staff are kind of leaving the food by the door. Those corporations also have very similar policies where they should be leaving your packages by the door for you, and they should not be asking you to sign and that sort of thing. So we feel like they have good, strong policies, and we've agreed to allow them onto campus to continue to provide good service to you all. Essentially, the only folks that we're really asking to turn around is business persons that are just making sales calls and that sort of thing. We are asking them not to come onto campus and asking them to turn around. And then if you have family members that are just coming to celebrate a birthday or come and visit grandma and that sort of thing, we're asking that you please not do that at this time. So we have asked a few of those folks to turn around, and a lot of them, when they've approached staff at the entrance, they understood really quickly and kind of voluntarily said, I'm going to come back another time. So we certainly appreciate that, appreciate you all being kind and understanding to staff that are down there during this time as well. A couple of other things. I hope everyone received the announcement regarding our work order process. We have modified that a little bit. Any of kind of your standard routine work orders of a preventative maintenance nature, or if you are wanting us to add a shelf in your home or install some crown molding, we are putting all of those work orders on hold. We're keeping them in our system, but we're putting them on hold. And then we're asking our techs to respond to work orders in common spaces, again, because of the very limited resident interaction. It's actually a good opportunity for them to get caught up in a lot of common spaces, because we typically prioritize providing service directly in resident homes, so it's a little bit different now of a prioritization. And we still will respond if you have, obviously, a leak, a water leak, a stopped up toilet, if you don't have heating, air, any of those sorts of emergent type issues, we will be responding to that. If you call Karen, she will kind of ask you that series of questions that we're asking of everyone else. Again, please be patient with her. She's been doing a great job with that. And again, you all have been very receptive to that. But also the maintenance tech, if you didn't talk to Karen, the maintenance tech may actually ask you those questions. And we are actually recording that on our work order system, so we do have a record of you all answering those questions for us before we perform that service. And in addition to that, we would also ask that you try to distance yourself from the maintenance tech when they enter your home. So last thing is we kind of made a decision late yesterday afternoon to fully secure Asbury Commons. So we really had one point of entry into Asbury and Oxford Commons. I know that's inconvenient for some. I apologize for the inconvenience, but Asbury Commons will be locked 24/7. However, if you have your name badge, you will have access into Asbury Commons 24/7 at the chapel entrance, at the first floor entrance near the beauty shop, and at the first floor entrance near the columbarium and financial operations area. We do ask that you not use the third floor entrance, because that's our assisted living entrance. As you all should be well aware, we're restricting visitation there. So I think that is it for my updates, and I look forward to seeing everyone soon. Thank you.
Thanks, David. Scott Farkas, our controller at Givens Estates, has our annual review of financial assistance and the process and some information. So Scott, appreciate you being here.
All right, hello everybody out there in TV land. Again, my name is Scott Farkas, controller here at Givens Estates. I'm gonna just spend a minute talking about the Resident Financial Assistance Program. If you are experiencing or anticipate upcoming financial difficulties, Givens has funds set aside to assist residents. These funds have been raised through various fundraising activities. Current, former residents have donated, and different activities have raised funds to assist residents. In fact, Givens has provided almost $400,000 in resident assistance in 2019 alone. Might be a record. The process is simple and confidential. I can't stress that enough. The process is confidential. So what is the process? The process is for independent living residents. You would contact John Cowan. For Wood Assisted Living, Givens Estates Health Center, and Home Care, you would contact Robin Sudreth. There's a simple review process, financial review process, that either John or Robin will go through with you. The key here is to be proactive, so waiting until the last moment is generally not a good idea if you are starting to experience some anxiety, and it's best to have the conversation and start the conversation early. And part of the reason is priority for these funds are given to individuals already receiving assistance. So in order to be able to plan and provide assistance, Givens would like to know earlier than at the last moment if you're experiencing these difficulties. There are funds set up on a recurring basis for residents who are experiencing an ongoing difficulty, and there's also a fund set up called the Resident Joy Fund for those one-off expenses. Some examples of those in the past have been hearing aids or vehicle repairs. There's also funds set aside through a Resident Joy Fund for that. I can't reinforce this enough that it is a confidential process and it is a simple process. So don't hesitate to reach out to John or Robin if you experience any of those difficulties. Thank you.
All right. So I know everyone's tired of hearing me talk about the coronavirus, AKA COVID-19. But there are a few things I just want to walk through. Again, we've talked a lot about social distancing. That is not social isolation. So it's keeping distance between ourselves of 6 feet. Get out, take a walk, instead of watching CNN or Fox News. I don't know about you, my personal coping strategy that I began Monday was to watch 15 minutes of news. That increases my anxiety, and then it takes the other 23 hours and 45 minutes to decompress. So don't sit in front of that TV watching the news. I would encourage you to binge on movies or anything other than watching the news. Control the things that you have that you can control. It's your outlook, it's getting outside, it's spring, it's beautiful. So take good care of yourself. Don't isolate yourself. Get out, use the wellness center and the facilities we have. Take a swim. Staff are there, they have plenty of time and they are wiping down the equipment. Our environmental services staff have added a substantial amount of commons areas, additional cleaning. And again, with appropriate social distancing, you should feel safe in getting out, using the amenities that we have. We can't have groups right now. The risk is too great. And then bringing folks into campus is a risk as we're all learning. I think for me, having the first case in Buncombe County, although they're residing in Macon County for the time being, and the fact that folks that may have the virus will be asymptomatic. They won't be showing the signs that we're screening for, right? So we could have an individual that has the virus that's contagious that could pose a risk to you. Remember our resident community, our average age is 84. A lot of residents have underlying chronic health conditions, and that's the reason we're implementing these measures, priority being placed on resident health and well-being. But we're also paying a lot of attention to the health and well-being of our team members as well. So we are in a number of departments. We are creating opportunities where it makes sense for our team members to stay home with the technology. Thank goodness we've got the technology department that we have. They've done a stellar job, but they've set folks up. So we're depopulating departments, financial operations. The majority of folks are staying home. They're productive. They're making sure you get your monthly bill on time. And they're there to answer your questions. They're keeping one person in that office. Marketing, they're splitting the week so everyone's not in the office, and it makes sense. They can be productive wherever they are, and although they're not having groups of individuals on campus, hosting those groups or one-on-one tours, they are staying in contact with folks, and they're working very hard to keep us full, which is important. They're also marketing's doing a stellar job talking about, during these difficult times, a lot of the advantages of living in the community. So I think that's something that's positive as well. So there've been a lot of changes over the various weeks. I've sent out, I'll continue to send out at least once a week an update. If I don't have anything new to update you on, that could be a good thing, right? I actually had a resident share with me today, let's see if I can find the email, and he was talking about, he appreciated the fact that we began 3 weeks ago putting measures into place, and that we've done so gradually in accord with what the circumstances are at the time, giving him and his neighbors time to adjust to the changes. And he said that he saw something in writing yesterday, and this was the quote he shared with me. So, everything closed down, and we had to stay at home, and nothing happened after all. And then he said, well, that was the purpose of all these efforts in the first place. We don't want what everyone is saying will happen to happen. We're trying to be proactive and to prevent a worst-case scenario. Again, I want to reiterate how wonderful all the people associated with Givens Estates have been. Understanding today, I spent an hour and a half with some of the ground staff at the entrance, and folks that are driving into campus have been very gracious. It's been truly amazing. It's still early in this process. It's very early in the process. And we're all going to have to work hard to stay positive. We can do that. We can help one another. This is not in my opinion, this is not a 2-week scenario. This is weeks, if not months. And we will be innovative and creative, and we will respond forcefully as we need to, and also gently where we need to as well. We need to have that balance gently in our relationships with one another, but forcefully with our actions and our measures that we're putting into place. So that's all I have, other than we're here. Even though we can't necessarily talk face-to-face like we're accustomed to, please reach out to your social worker, any of the team members. If you have a facilities-related issue, reach out to the facilities team members. Karen and those staff are there to serve you. If you have a billing question or that type of question, reach out to those folks. Dining, utilize the expertise that we have on campus. Don't hesitate to reach out to us with questions, with good ideas as well. Y'all have had good ideas. We're working hard to try to think through every detail, everything that we need to address. It's quite honestly a challenge, and you're helping us in that regard by your questions and your suggestions. So thank you all. Ed Hillman is going to close us out today with some thoughts, and which he and I talked a little bit, and I'm going to benefit, and I know we all will. So Ed?
Thank you so much, John. Hello, friends. Ed Hillman, your Director of Ministries, here to bring you a few more words of encouragement today. We are indeed living in extraordinary times. We are used to things changing rapidly in our world, but we are not used to things being so much out of our control. And at times like these, we are reminded that ultimately we are not in control. Lucky for us, the one who is in control looks upon all of us as beloved children. That comforts us and lessens our fears and anxieties. Hear these words from Psalm 46. God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Therefore we will not fear, though the earth should change, though the mountains shake and tremble with its tumult. The nations are in an uproar, the kingdoms totter, but the Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge. Be still and know that I am God. I am exalted among the nations. I am exalted in the earth. Commitment, caring, courage, collaboration. These are the DNA of our Givens Estates community. We are committed to caring for one another. Communication and collaboration with all of you and with public health officials is critical right now. And perhaps nothing is more important than our courage. The next several weeks may be intense as changes come rapidly, and we must rely on each other all the more. Whatever comes, remember that God is with us and God is for us, and that we are called to be here for each other. Let us be mindful especially of those who will need for us to check in each day. Though we may not see our neighbors face to face each day, we do need to call, to make contact, and to keep in touch with each other. John Wesley called this watching over one another in love. Be patient. Together, we will get through this. Mark Bailey, our Director of Development, shared a prayer with us from Kathy Branzell, the President of the National Day of Prayer Task Force. It's a little long as prayers go, but it speaks to our situation very well. Please pray with me as I read. Eternal God and our great physician, we turn to you in prayer, not panic, in response to this pandemic. We praise you as our almighty creator and sustainer. You are the author of our days, our refuge and strength. Lord, we humbly ask that you push back and remove this virus from us. Glorify yourself in this national and global emergency. We cry out to you in unified prayer. For those who have suffered loss of family and friends from this virus, please comfort them. For those who are currently sick, we ask that you heal them. For those who are filled with fear and anxiety and the uncertainty of what to do, or in isolation or quarantine, we ask that you be their courage and that they would acknowledge your presence. Thank you for being our God who never leaves or forsakes us. For those who are not able to go to work and earn a paycheck, we ask that you provide for their needs. Please connect them with services who are providing food and other resources at this time. For those who are researching and responding to the pandemic, we ask that you pour out your wisdom, knowledge, and understanding in them and through them. Please incline our ears to truth and give us steadfast hearts as our confidence in you. Give us discernment to divide rumors from reality. Help us to make wise decisions and listen to good information. For all hospital and nursing home staff, doctors, nurses, lab technicians, first responders, military personnel, and everyone who is at risk to exposure as they serve and care for those who are or may have been infected, please protect them and give them and their families peace as they serve. Help them to keep patients calm as they work and walk in faith with you. Lord, help us always to respond with your love to our neighbors. Prompt us to check on those near and dear to us, as well as neighbors we might not yet have met who may need our help. Help us to remember those around us who are most vulnerable to this virus, and to help them by bringing them groceries or other things that will help keep them from exposure. For those who are making decisions about closures and cancellations, we ask that you guide them to consider what is best for people, not profit. Lord, that they will trust you and make the safest decisions for the population they serve, teach, entertain, and employ. Continue to pour out your creativity on us in the methods of staying connected and productive through technology. We pray that this unprecedented time in our generation would be used to draw us nearer to you and to our families. Turn our attention to the many times we have thought or said, we don't have enough time to connect. Help us to use this time to rightly reset and prioritize our relationship with you, our family, and our neighbors. Let us draw near to you in faith as our rock and our fortress. Deliver us from this disease, we pray, and let your glory fill the earth as you respond to our prayers. Amen. Finally, may God bless us all. We will be live streaming our worship services on Sunday morning and afternoon and on Wednesday morning and afternoon. And Tammy Bales and I will be posting words of encouragement on GTV and Touchdown in the days ahead. Of course, you can reach out to us at any time. We are here for you. May God's strength and God's peace be with us all. Amen.
Thank you. And as normal, I mess up the agenda. I asked David more because I've been getting a lot of questions about the health center and what we're doing there because they're in such strict lockdown. So David's going to share with you what's going on in the health center.
Nobody wants to follow the preacher when he prays, but there you go. That's what you get. Well, first and foremost, thank you guys for the outpouring of support that we have gotten. Obviously, the health center is kind of the epicenter because we have the most at-risk residents on our campus. And then assisted living followed closely behind that, too. So again, we want to thank all you guys for the support you've gotten. Over the past 3 weeks, my staff in assisted living and skilled nursing as well in the health center have been through a dramatic amount of changes. In the way that we do things and just the culture that we have. We've always been a very open and inviting community, and we enjoyed in the health center having the campus gathering people come up and sing on Friday mornings. And when I had to cancel that a couple weeks ago, it was kind of stark for me. So we've made a lot of changes. And first and foremost, please know that the staff has been amazing. We have staff members, we have coworkers that I see on a daily basis who have children who are sick, and yet they've been at work, not sick with COVID-19 for the record. But we also have had people who have children who have babysitting issues. Now that the schools are out, they've had babysitting issues. Or they have a loved one who is declining and in the hospital for other reasons, and they are still here at work taking care of our residents, and that's amazing to me. Each one of us has our own story to tell of the things that we're dealing with at home. And so one of the things I've encouraged each of our staff members is to keep talking to each other about what's going on at home. Why is that important? Because I need my staff members to be coping with what they're dealing with at home so that they're able to come here and take care of our residents. We also know that the residents have been through a lot of changes as well, and they've had significant amounts of change in what they can do. And it's been rapidly developing. We have been planning for 3 weeks. John, Robin, and I have had many conversations over the past 3 weeks preparing for this. And then especially on Friday of last week, things changed dramatically with Governor Cooper's guidance, followed that evening by CMS's guidance on how much restriction we should be putting in place. And so in assisted living and in the health center, we are no longer having any congregate dining. We're no longer having any visitors at all. We're no longer having any group activities. And so those visitors and that group activities and that group dining has been part of the life of our residents on a daily basis. So how do we adjust and meet those psychosocial needs they have? So first and foremost, communication. We are doing everything we can to communicate changes as quickly as they occur. I have personally sent emails to everyone in the health center, every resident representative that I'm aware of in the health center. If you're one of those and didn't get an email in the past couple of days, please call us and let us know, and I'll get you on that list. But I've given emails myself to let you guys know what's going on, what the changes are if you have a loved one in the health center. We've also had a lot of one-on-one communication. Each resident that's in our health center, my leadership team has taken personal ownership of, and we've divided them up 5 or 6 residents per leader, so that we can make a call and just kind of say, look, the nurses will tell you what's going on medically, but I saw your loved one today, and I spoke with them today, and they're having a good day, and they had lunch, and they had some quality time, and I got a chance to visit with them. So at least you know that there's some personal eyes looking at the residents. We are also setting up, and again, these are conversations that we had, and we were going to have them in place, but the speed of things kind of got ahead of us. But we have the ability to do video conferencing. So in the letter that I sent out on Tuesday night, I gave links, but please call our Life Enrichment Department at the Health Center if you would like to set up a video conference with your loved one, so that we can have that face-to-face, eyeball-to-eyeball conversation. We'll also be glad to help hand a phone to someone if the video doesn't work, and we will do those things. Our life enrichment staff and also, believe it or not, independent living housekeeping staff is working in the health center some. And our dining staff and the nursing staff, the whole facility is going by and doing one-on-one visits with the residents so that they have that contact. At mealtime, the entire building kind of shuts down, and every staff member that's in the building starts passing out trays and helping to make that efficiently work, but also so we have that contact with the loved ones. So this is a time of change for all of us. It's an amazing, challenging time for everyone. The one thing I would ask you is please don't visit. Why? Because you can't get in. Number one, the regulations do not allow you to come in. And our staff are trying really hard to take care of the people inside and to have that conversation, that communication with the residents that are needing us. And when you come to the door and want to just give us one little thing, that takes us away from our residents. So I ask that you please don't visit because I can't let you in. Now, I will say, there is one exception to that rule, and luckily, the CMS guidance provided me the ability to make a decision. If I have a person who is in those last few days of life, I am legally allowed to let them in our building, and we want to. That's our culture. That's who we are. So if there is that time where there is someone who is in those last 2 or 3 days of life, we will make accommodations. We still have to screen them, as we're doing all staff members, or we'll still have to check your temperature, like all of us have done 1,000 times in the past few days. We'll also have to put a mask on them to protect our residents and our staff from them, from the visitor. But nevertheless, we'll let you in if it is at that very end of life, those last few days of life, because that's so important. Please be patient with us. It's a time of massive change for everyone. We're now settling into our new normal, and as John alluded to, we're settling into this new normal for weeks or months. We don't know what the end game is, but we're settled in, and we're really enjoying this time, getting to know our residents a lot better, and we're doing everything we possibly can to meet their psychosocial needs.
All right, thank you everyone for joining us today. This is recorded, so we'll broadcast as is the norm. And although I don't think we'll be together yet in April, be prepared to tune in on April the 15th at 3 o'clock, and we'll see you then. Take care. Bye.